Welcome to Encouragement Notes, the place where you find out who God created you to be. I created this podcast to share my journey in life and in my disability acceptance. Thank you so much for listening. Let's get started. Hey, I hope all is going well and you're having a beautiful, blessed day. Today, I want to say happy Disability Pride Month, and I want to answer a question that one of my listeners asked me. And this listener is, I have to give her a shout out. She is my work bestie. We've known each other for about a year and a half. And she asked me what Disability Pride Month means to me. So, as you guys know, I grew up with CP, cerebral palsy, and I wasn't always ashamed of my disability. But as I got older, I started getting teased in junior high school, and then after high school, when I went to college, when I was actually ending college at the age of 26, I started getting the intrusive questions. Some of them were really intrusive questions that nobody deserves to know about. Well, none of the intrusive questions are things that people deserve to know about. But if I say the really intrusive questions, you could imagine where your mind would go. But the questions that bothered me most were the questions of, are you in therapy? Are doctors going to quote unquote fix you? And so back in 2011, I graduated college in 2009. And back in 2011, I was just kind of sick of my body. And I told my mom, you know what? I need to go to the doctor because I need a prescription for therapy. So I got a prescription for therapy. And with my first therapy appointment, I was asked by my physical therapist what my goal was, and I said I want to give my chair up for good. And then she's like, okay, that's going to be hard, but okay. And you have a 6-week prescription. So we spent the first 3 weeks of my therapy appointments learning how to walk long distances, learning how to teach my body how to handle it. And then the other half of the therapy appointments was perfecting my gait for my body. So that meant like not walking too fast, slowing down, making sure I was taking full strides, and that I had a good physical cadence. And a lot of good things came from my long distance walking. But there was a catch. Okay, so a lot of good things came from my long distance walking, but my attitude was so not right. My attitude was, I don't want to be in the disability community anymore. I don't belong here. That's a them thing. And I realized now that I got really super cocky. And that I often tell my friends when I have the opportunity to, that they would not have liked me had they known the person who I was back then. But let me continue my story. Back in 2020, during the pandemic, I went to a casino with my mom and dad. And of course, I went walking, but my ankles gave out. And I fell not once but twice. Well, to me, you guys, it was not falling. I knew that I needed to get down on the floor because of the way I was feeling. My lower body was just tired. And so I did that twice. But when you get down on the floor and fall in a public space, somebody sees you, a report is taken. And when a report is taken, it is very embarrassing because then you have to explain what you did and that you're not hurt and this, that, and the other thing. But fast forward to after that, I'm like, maybe I should try to see what life with a wheelchair is like. And so I put in an order for a chair on Amazon. And then I put my order in 2021 and I fell in 2020, but before that I discovered the Rolettes and Rolettes experience, and I was not ready to go physically into the room of Rolettes experience. So I signed up online and I made a deal with myself. I was like, okay, I only paid this much money for my tuition because it was online. So it wasn't that much money. And so I paid the tuition, and I told myself that if I did not like the event that I could just log off. Well, lo and behold, I ended up falling in love with this event and the women who attended this event, and we had multiple breakout sessions. We, as the online attendees, were able to do 2 dance classes and witness one panel, I think, and we were able to ask questions in the chat box, the Zoom chat box. And so that just totally changed my life. And then fast forward to 2022. Fast forward to right after RE, which was this month in July. After that, I signed up for Boundless Babe Society, and I was connected to mentors who had been through what I was going through and were able to coach me in how to handle everything from a look that a person would give you to questions that you would come up against. And in the Boundless Babe Society, which sadly no longer exists, we would share our experiences regarding a certain topic. And very, very often, we would break away from that topic because we would have other things going on as well, just within our own lives, and we would make time to be there for each other. But getting to my point, that is where my life changed, was having the connection and learning how to be proud of my body and what I was capable of. And just simply take pride in the fact that I wasn't created in a wrong way. And also to realize that I had a community around me that I could always lean on, always go to. So that is kind of my long way of answering what disability pride means to me. It means that I do not have to be ashamed of who I am as a wheelchair user. I like myself better as a wheelchair user. I mean, I love my walker too, but I like myself better as a wheelchair user because I feel like I'm able to represent myself without sounding like I'm stressed out, huffing and puffing. Um, can I get stronger? Yes. Can I walk more? Yes. But I'm making that choice to use my chair because that is the way I now feel more comfortable and confident. And I don't think that previous Marie, let's say 32-year-old Marie compared to 44-year-old Marie, would have said that. 32-year-old Marie was actually asking for validation. Um, there was a situation where I was very, very like nervous about how I looked and how I was talking. I was like stressing out over everything I said. And I went home and beat myself up for taking my grandma's chair to an event. But the reason why I took my grandmother's chair to an event was because my chair was actually in my grandmother's garage. And I was unwilling to be seen in my chair. But to 32-year-old Marie, being seen in my grandma's chair was actually physically worse because I had to depend on my mom to push me. Because my grandmother's chair was a transport chair that did not have any wheels that you could push on your own. But I was so dead set against being seen as weak that to this event, I took my grandmother's chair and I also took my walker. And I jumped out of my grandmother's chair. And I'm like, I try to put on the biggest show ever. Or at least hindsight now, I feel like I did. But you know what? So looking back, I would tell 32-year-old Marie that you're okay. You're okay. Things are not as big as you're making them out to be. And so that's another thing pride means to me is that you come alongside people that need your influence, and just tell them everything's going to be okay and actually be there for them. So I know I took a long time answering this question. It was a longer answer than I had anticipated, but I feel like I wanted to tell you guys the full story of it. And I hope that you would join me for my next episodes. I'm planning to do more Disability Pride episodes for the month of July because July does mean so much to me now. Now that I have found my community and that I'm mentoring other people and being an example to younger people that are around me and some older people as well. And I just look forward to, I hope that this episode is episode 1 of many that I could do for Disability Pride Month. So please leave your suggestions down below when you see this published. And I will talk to you guys later. I love you guys. Bye.